Weddings canceled, brides crushed, and venues left empty, the pandemic is making some brides feel like their dream wedding is turning into a nightmare. But it doesn't have to be that way. Today we talk to Alysha Ford about what her 5 tips are on how brides and grooms can stay positive during this time.
My first one is not just for couples. I think it has to do with just the world. But budgeting is obviously very important in life and in wedding planning. And I heard this fabulous tip that budgeting how much time you're actually watching the news. So you budget your finances for your wedding, but also budgeting how much time you're taking in for, learning about the pandemic and things. It's important to stay informed, and it's important to watch the news, but not to be watching it for 12 hours straight, and kind of getting into that negative downward spiral that you can get into. I think it's important that people just kind of kick back, throw on Tiger King, watch Love is Blind, do whatever you want to do, put on some Netflix, but budget how much time you're actually taking in for the news. So that would be my first one. My other one would be knowing that you're not alone. So I think a lot of my brides are having mixed emotions because they are having these feelings of, I shouldn't feel so bad. It's just a party when the world is dying. But there's a lot of people getting married and it's a big deal to them. Everybody lives in their own world, and I think that's okay to recognize. And right now that is a huge part of their world, is getting married. So I think it's important that they do turn to some of those Facebook groups like swap and sell sites and all of those community group boards where they can kind of share in a safe place that they're not alone and hear their other stories, and just kind of lean on each other. I don't think it's the best spot to take legal information from because it's just a bunch of people talking, but I think it's a great soundboard for you to kind of share your emotions or just vent. I think that's a really great spot. So don't keep it all inside. Know you're not alone, which I think is a big one too. My next one would be to get ahead of it. So I have a couple brides that are looking, they're in August time, and they're not too sure if they want to postpone or not. And obviously it's a really tricky situation. They're turning to people, family, friends, experts, all of that stuff. And we don't know when this is going to end. So it can be really difficult to give them the right answer. But I think it's important to have a contingency plan. So then all of us can kind of work together. We know that if we're going to make the change to move it, that we have a plan, it's been well thought out, and get ahead of it. So we're not scrambling, a month before, 2 months before, because now you've decided that you have to move it. So just get ahead of it and kind of take it on. That would be my third comment on that. Let me see, what's my next one? This would be for people who are looking to get married next year. So 2021, although they think that they have lots of time, which they kind of do. However, they're now officially competing with every couple who's getting married this year because they all have to postpone their dates. So now couples who were looking to get married in 2020, now we're going to look for 2021. And I don't want these people to have all of this stress because they didn't book their photographer right away, or their videographer, or their wedding planners. They decided that they had time and they held off. And so this will cause, I think, quite a bit of panic once they realize that their dates are now gone, their vendor teams are now gone because they sat around a little bit too long. And I think that's going to make them a little less positive when it's too hard to get anything. So book now if you can. And finally, my last thing to keep people staying positive during all of this is to know that their love story will still be told. So although they are having to postpone their wedding dates and, the countdowns have to be restarted from 20 days to 200 days, it will still be told, and their family and friends will still be there, and they're keeping everybody safe by doing this. So to note that, it's going to be a little hard to officially decide to do it, but once you do it, it'll be great.